Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat. My name is Mitch Pattinson, and as always, we are joined by Ethan Daffy. And today we are previewing our round two clash, Carlton v Hawthorn at the MCG, 7:30 p.m. Daff, there's a bit of a eerie feeling going on at the moment. Very daunting. I feel like we both are heading into this preview, especially after what we saw last week. But how are you, first things first, mate? And your initial thoughts ahead of this clash against a very, very good side in Hawthorn. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, it wasn't really the expectation I thought of heading into this game prior to the Richmond result. It's going to be tough. And I said to you off air, I think it's really frustrating because we did even put together a half decent performance on the weekend that we can kind of go, okay, we're building into a really, really good performance. So for me, I think the only way we can beat them is we're so on. We have to be at our absolute tip top best because they're looking really, really sharp at the moment. They're 2-0 at the G that they've been playing really well at. Probably the last second half of last year and up until now, and still going. So yeah, it's a little bit of a worry. Well, not a little bit. It's a big worry. Let's be real. There's going to be a bit of a sense of nervous feeling, I think, at the G prior to the bounce. It's going to be, when Carlton always have a bad result, and then we go into the game the next weekend, you can just feel like an angst before the bounce goes on. Of course, we're going to be there to support them and all that great stuff. But yeah, it's just going to be a sense of nerves before we start, hopefully, kicking some goals, Patto.
Yeah, well, to start off with, the first thing I need to say is if they don't show up for their first home game for the year, like even last week with like somewhat of an excuse, it wasn't an away game, but it was still 80,000 at the G. Like, how do you not want to perform in front of them?
Oh, yeah.
And it's round one.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's beyond frustration. But for our first home game against one of the proud sides in Hawthorn, it just annoys me how they're good.
Yeah.
Because, like, 2 years ago, people were saying they're going to win the wooden spoon, and now they're, like, on the verge of, like, being pretty much right now, they could be the flag favourites right now, other than maybe Geelong right now. And that's just a scary thought. It's just like, why can't that be us for once in our lives? Why can't that be us?
Mm-hmm.
But we'll move on to the injury list, mate. Because there's a player that might help our chances just a little bit this week, and that is obviously Charlie Curnow making his return. He's expected to play. So if all goes well through the week with training and stuff, you would expect to see him on Thursday night. The other player is Orazio Fantasia. He's calf, so he's a test to play. It was only meant to be a 1 week injury, but you all know Orazio Fantasia at the Carlton Footy Club with soft tissue, and we don't know if that will be a 1 weeker or if it turns into a 4 week or 6 weeker. So hopefully Orazio is fit to play. And other than that, there was no other injuries out of last week. So that's probably the one positive out of last week was there was no injuries in the game, which is crazy to me. But your thoughts, I guess, on those two big names. I mean, one pretty big name, Orazio Fantasia, the other somewhat of a big name. He's been quite good in the preseason. But your thoughts more on Charlie Curnow with his return for season 2025?
Yeah, I think it's going to be big, but I don't want this to become the whole talking point of this week with Curnow. And I feel like it's going to be within the socials, on the socials. I don't want it to go, we're back, Charlie's back, blah, blah, blah. Like, if he played on the weekend, of course he'd help, right? And of course he can help big time. I'm not saying that he's going to have a huge impact, but we can't be having this, just absolute delusional rubbish of we're just going to sort it out because he's playing. Like and I'm sure you agree. It's just like you don't want that to be the whole thing. Like, it's not a Cripps Curnow show anymore. If we want to win, we cannot win this weekend if we're relying on a small group of players.
Yeah.
It's just not going to do it. You look at Hawthorn, they have a complete buy-in from the best player on their list to the worst. They have a complete buy-in, which is really good to see. But yeah, based on that injury report, it's good to see Charlie back. He hasn't played since that Hawthorn game last year, which was, yeah, it was not a good afternoon of the football. And then Orazio, yeah, that'll be good as well. I think we need another kind of zippy forward in there. I wouldn't mind him. He plays kind of high, but I wouldn't mind him just having a little bit of a go around the goals. We just lacked when the ball hit the deck. We had 25 more inside 50s, and you get losing the game. So that's just not good enough. We've got to find ways to, and his ball use inside 50. I know you've touched on it a lot with Orazio. He lowers the eyes, he hits the forwards. So that'll be fingers crossed his calf's all right. And yeah, hopefully there's no other injuries in the injury report. Obviously there'll be other guys who are recovering like Pitto and Corey Durden, but I think they're still a couple of weeks away.
Mm. Yeah, I think Pitto's is like 5 or 6 weeks,
Yeah.
which I think that was the last update on the injury list. But yeah, I completely agree about Orazio. I think if he is available, I think he almost has to play more so because of his ball use. But my question to you is, would you reckon his role has kind of changed a little bit now that Matt Cottrell is now fit and playing as
Mm.
that high half forward? But it seems like he's playing deep as well. And I
Yeah.
don't know if it's because Orazio has been playing in the match sim, because on the
Mm.
weekend it seemed like last Thursday it seemed like Matt Cottrell was being
Yep.
playing a little bit more high again. So
Yep.
with Orazio coming back into the side potentially, do you see Matt Cottrell's role changing a little bit? And if so, how so?
Yeah, I think the good thing about having both of them, they can kind of switch.
Yeah.
Whether one can go deep if they want to, one can go high. They got the running capacity to do that. If it were me, I'd probably rather Cotter's running higher up the ground.
Yeah.
I think he's a player that like he can play deep as well, but it's more like with the high half forward, he gets around the ball a little bit more because I think sometimes he goes a little bit missing in games, just because of the fact that he's playing so deep. Like that's not his role. I know he kicked a goal in the first quarter, which was a ripper on the weekend. We can't kick goals from 15 out and straight in front, but we can kick goals from the boundary. That's I'm not sure what they're practicing at training, but yeah, no, it'll be. I think that dynamic will be good. I still worry about the whole small forward thing. It was a big talking point in the shows over the weekend that we just lack small forwards, and watching other teams play really frustrated me and really irked me. It just worried me a little bit that we don't really have that.
Mm.
Like, and I was even talking to my old man about it the other day, like the whole Pepley deal that didn't go through in 2019. He's exactly the small forward in the modern day. I know he struggled on the weekend, but he's that guy. He's that perfect small forward and prototype small forward that needs to be in your team now. And I looked at GWS yesterday, the pace they have,
Oh,
every part of the ground, they have pace. Even with their tagger, Toby Bedford, he tags, but he runs off. He's quick. Finn Callahan, he's their best player at the moment, in my opinion. He's quick, he's tall. It was really worrying to see for me compared to the way we look. But round one, I don't think we can draw conclusions yet. I'm giving them probably up until round four to draw conclusions and really tell me what we look like.
yeah, and there's no bigger games, I guess, and it's Hawthorn this week, the Dogs the week after, and then the
Yeah.
arch rival Collingwood
Yeah.
on a certain someone's birthday.
Yes, yes.
So no pressure.
No,
But
no.
if they don't get the win, the W, they might see a bit of a person running onto the field and
Yeah.
approaching Michael Voss.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's a different. It's not. It's not even. It's not even disappointment or frustration. I don't even know what feeling what
Mm.
feeling I'm going through right now.
Yep.
It's just like
Same old, same old.
it's the same. It's the same shit, but you know what you're going to expect.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know that they're going to disappoint you in the short term. You
It
just
was
know.
just a different. It was the issue with Thursday night. It was a completely different way of disappointing us. I've never seen. Like, I don't think we've ever been clear favourites up 41 and lose. Like that's a whole. I've never seen us do that because we've never been favourite that often. So
Mm.
that's why we're even more pissed off because it's like just the whole look on the game was different compared to previous years. Like going into round one, usually we were looking at losing the game, probably apart from 22, maybe 23 and 24. But Thursday was like we should be winning this game comfortably, and we were winning it comfortably and lost. So it's like they just found a different way to disappoint us, and hopefully this weekend they do not find a separate way to disappoint us again, Pato.
how would they disappoint you again on Thursday night? Like, would it be like a goal after siren or even like a 120-point loss? Like, what would be more disappointing for you
Oh,
right now? A goal after the siren or an 120-point loss this Thursday night?
120-point loss, I think, against Hawthorn. I think if we give them a good crack, like really play well,
Right. Yeah.
like Melbourne did yesterday, they probably deserved to win that
Yeah,
game.
I
The
know.
Giants, they did.
Yeah,
And
they were
if
good.
I was, I would have been happy with that performance. Just pissed off that they lost,
Yeah.
but they were really good. Like they hunted the footy, and that's exactly what you want from a round one performance. If you lose, you just want to be optimistic and head into next week. They've got North Melbourne. They play like that, they probably win comfortably. But with us, it's like we don't know. We haven't played good footy yet, apart from probably the first 10 minutes on Thursday night. So it's yeah, 120-point loss would put so much pressure. So like it'd put so much pressure on just everyone in the club. It'd be really, really bad. Like that would be the worst scenario ever, I think. Worst scenario ever. I'm not saying it won't happen, but it should not happen. We should be pushing with them. Really, it's yeah. Just hope we win the game, Pato, please.
Yeah. I when I asked the question, I'm like, oh, yeah, this might be a good question. But then I asked, I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, hang on. If we get an 120-point loss against Hawthorn,
Yeah.
I think we'll be a little bit more disappointed than a goal after the sorrow. But the question I was about to ask, it was in my head, but it's gone out of my head. So I'll move on to the next segment, but I'll
Yep.
try and think of it when hopefully if it comes into my head. But I guess what we'll touch on is the ins and outs stuff.
Yep.
Now, there are a few players. So we are uncertain about Orazio. So we have
Yeah.
both
Yep.
said that in our ins and outs, he will be available. So
Mhm. Yep.
you might choose not to play him. I might choose not to play him. But right now, we will
Yep.
act like he is available to play on Thursday night. So
Yep.
your ins and outs, what have you got?
So yeah, I was kind of struggling with him a little bit, just in terms of balance in our team. Not necessarily finding it hard to drop certain players, but just how the whole outlook of the team looked heading into Hawthorn. Because I think before I do my selection, I just don't want to play those four intercept defenders against Hawthorn, just particularly because they just cut teams up. They cut, Essendon up at certain stages of the game. I thought Ben Mackay was horrendous last week, and their tall defenders really struggled. So outs for me, I've got Brody Kemp. I know they want to trial him as a forward, but I think if Charlie or Harry's out, he can't play as a second forward. I think you almost have to force your hand and play either a Lewis Young as just a tall marking option who can play in the ruck, or you play Sauce. Because I don't think we can play Kemp and it was not a good look. One unlucky one for me is Cooper Lord. I thought he was really good on the weekend and probably wrongfully subbed, but maybe because it was like you said, the mix of the midfielders, maybe too many mids if he stayed in with Doc. When you think about it, you probably could have dropped anybody else or subbed anyone else at that time. And my final out is Francis Evans. Yeah, I think the guys coming in are just better than him. So, and particularly the guy I'm replacing him with is better than him if he does play. So, my ins, it's good to see this name in. It's going to be just a better look. I still worry about our forward line and how we get it inside 50, but he will help big time, especially when he hits the deck. I think he's good as well when he hits the deck. Charlie Curnow, oh, it's going to help Harry big time. I think Harry was pretty atrocious on the weekend. I thought one of his worst games in the last probably 12 months. I thought he's presenting at the footy was horrendous. And I think with Charlie, I love Harry. He's probably one of my favorites, but I thought he's one-on-ones. He's one-on-ones. Like, when is it like, I know I'm talking about selections, but when is it going to become a time when what is he, 200 centimetre forward, 100 kilos starts hitting blokes?
Yeah.
When is it going to happen? I didn't want the preview to be angry, but when is it going to happen, Pato? How many times in the years? He's huge.
I know.
Do you watch Josh Tracy play for Freo? He might have struggled on the weekend, but he finds a way to hit bodies legally, of course. Hit packs,
Mm.
hit players hard. Look at the size of him, man. He should have dominated that game on the weekend. And Blight was out at half time. Just frustrating. But yeah, Curnow in, Sam Doherty in from the sub
Yeah.
perspective. So obviously he replaces Cooper Lord and Fantasia replaces Frank Evans. And sub's an interesting one. I think you could probably put Cooper Lord in there, but I think we go for the win. I think attackingly we go for the win, and I'm going to put Ashton Moore up forward because
Love it.
I think if we're struggling to score goals, I think we have the ability to chuck a few guys in the middle if we're struggling. And let's be real, if the guys in the middle, those players can't do it, I'm not sure who's going to be able to do it, Patto. Seriously, we don't have, reincarnated Chris Judd coming out of the reserves. So substitute Ashton Moyer just because he might provide a little bit of a spark in the final half. I thought the sub was used terribly on the weekend. Doherty had to come in at half time
Yeah.
when we were 4 goals up. You could tell we weren't playing good enough. Clearly, the coaching staff were happy enough with our performance. I thought we were no good in that second half. Had a 4 goal lead, could have sorted it out, bring a player in, and then you just, build that lead again. But clearly they just wait until we're tired at 3/4 time when the panic starts setting in. It was unbelievable that he didn't come in any stage, even in the third quarter, Doherty. And you were saying about his warm up at 3/4 time. It was just the way the night was going, wasn't it? Like even the sub couldn't hit a target in the warm up. So yeah, those are my ins and outs, Pato.
Brilliant. Don't take me back to that
No,
moment.
it's
I
not.
don't know if we actually touched on it in the episode. I know that we talked about it, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it was actually on air. But like I was watching, it was probably like 3 or 4 minutes
Yep.
in that, and I reckon Sam Doherty probably made about 6 errors. Like, and he was kicking like 15 meters, but also
Yeah.
like ground balls,
Mm.
like no pressure at all, and he still was fumbling. Like
Yeah.
I literally said to my mate, I'm like, what is going on?
Mm.
And I mean, it's probably because there's no game intensity pressure, so you're probably not going to try your best. But it was just funny. I was like, God, he can't even kick targets when there's no pressure. Well, I don't know if that was just the intent, like maybe like acting like a player's on the lead. I don't know, but I was just like, I was
Yeah.
very, very intrigued by that. But I'm just going to say this to the viewers: we do not let each other know what the ins and outs are.
Mm.
We
Mm-hmm.
don't. We don't
Yep.
speak about it. We always want to go into the episodes acting completely
Yep.
raw about our reactions to each other. And
Yep.
I've got the exact
Mm-hmm.
same, including the sub.
Yep.
So
Yep.
ins and out, ins, Kerno, Orazio, Doherty, outs, Evans,
Mm-hmm.
Kemp, Lord, sub,
Yep.
Moya.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the player that we were speaking about off air.
Yep.
Ashton Moya
Mm-hmm.
needs to play.
Yeah, some way or not, whether it's just 22 or the sub, I think he's got to have some sort of clearly. I've been hearing things that he's not 100% right, so maybe that might be the reason for him not playing even the pracky game against the Giants. So maybe if he's not 100% right, you play him as a sub and then build him up for the weeks to come. Maybe.
Mm. I think if he's not right, I probably would rather play a Lord because
Mm.
Lord's been stiff to get dropped because
Yeah,
he was actually
100%.
quite solid and he
Yeah,
was probably playing more as a forward.
yeah,
Like he
yeah.
wasn't even playing as a mid, so we're kind
No.
of like looking at a game that he wasn't really playing in his right position
Yep.
and he gets dropped. I don't know.
Mm.
I just think it's unlucky because I think you have to bring in Sam Doherty,
Yeah.
and I think our mids are too good at the moment
Mm.
to drop anyone. But yeah, it's an interesting one also about Camperelli. We both have Camperelli play, which I love, which I really
Yep.
like. He
Yep.
was quite good on the weekend.
Had moments. Yeah.
Yeah, had moments, but it will be interesting now that Sam Jook is coming back in. I think I would rather him play on the wing. If not, I would love to experiment him on the halfback, but he's not going to because Hollands
No.
is in that
Yeah.
role. But uh, it's just, I kind of look at the team now because I've added the inclusions into the best 22 and actually looking at it, and we're kind of lacking in the back line because we only have Cowan, Wiedering, Haynes, Hollands, McGovern, Sard
Yeah.
in my back line because I have Jack Silvani going forward.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm kind
Yeah,
of
I think that's, yeah, it'll be interesting. I've got him shifting forward as well.
who Sauce.
not necessarily against him playing defence, but if he does play defence, you might have to drop one of McGovern or Haynes.
Who's
So
it? Sauce? Sauce?
yeah, so,
Yeah.
so if Sauce plays back,
Yeah.
you might have to drop a McGovern or Haynes just
Yeah.
because of the outlook of the team. And I know that's harsh. It's not full on performance based. It's a little bit, but it's more the overall outlook of the team. Because if you've got Charlie coming in, then you've got the two key forwards as well. But then, yeah, we kind of lack that third. But I don't know if you need three. I don't know. But I'm with you. I think Sauce, just a shift forward. Let's see how he goes in that first half. And you can always shift him back if you have to.
Yeah. The question I was about to ask earlier is so the back line with Wiedering, Haynes, McGovern as the talls and maybe Silvani. Do you like? I don't reckon we've ever been a fan of the four talls anyway.
No.
Like
No.
with the Wiedering, like say last year what we would have had Wiedering, Young, McGovern, and Kemp as those
Yep.
those key backs.
Mm.
But I don't reckon we were ever optimistic about that because like Cowan,
He's not short.
he's tall, mate.
Yeah, so I was reading it before. I read someone's tweet, and they were saying he's probably almost considered tall.
Yes.
Like he can play on smalls,
Yes.
but he is like it's almost a little bit big. So either, yeah, you'd probably have to shift Silvani just in terms of the whole structure. But if he's not, if he's in defence, you're gonna have to drop one of them.
Yeah. Yep.
You're gonna have to drop one of them, and then it's gonna be very intriguing to see what they do. Just do they throw the bathwater out after one game? I hope not.
With what?
Just in terms of just dropping everyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, don't throw all the toys out the cot. But yeah, it'll be who knows what's gonna happen, Patto. And Hawthorn's obviously got some changes in their defence with Scrimshaw being suspended. So and obviously Warple hurt himself in that opening round game. So you look at the midfield. Let's win that fucking battle.
Yeah.
It's my first F-bomb of the episode. Come on now. Come on now. Meek had a good opening round. I thought he didn't have as big of an influence against the Bombers. I thought Draper was ahead. I know there's not opposition watch yet, but I think Teddy K has to get it right. Has to get it right against Meek, and the mids have to sort it out.
Yeah. Because I know that it was Brian and Draper last week, so I think they kind of double teaming, I guess, because whenever Meek got a little bit tired, that's when the other ruckman would come in. And I think Nick Bryan is actually quite a good ruckman.
Yes.
He's probably better than Draper. I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know what I just hear a lot about Draper, and of course he's a good footballer, but
is he?
I just don't know if he gets to the. I just think he's probably the most overrated player in the competition at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's got that. He hunts the footy, which is what is great.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he just puts it all together.
Yeah.
I think Nick Bryan is probably more of he wasn't getting games last year, which I was kind of going like, geez,
yeah.
Draper's playing the way he does, but let's just win the football game, Patto.
Yeah, well, because, I mean, I have an estimate, and he's been saying, like, Nick Bryan is our ruck.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting. But, so about Cowan, I think he plays a bit like Marchbank. Obviously, he's the better version of Marchbank, but Callum Marchbank was that defender that probably could play small, but also could play tall.
Yeah.
So I think Cowan can be that. And that's why when I look at our back line, that like if we come up against, I know like a Brisbane that might have Hipwood, Morrison, Archie, if you classify that as a key tool, they might even have Fort as that second ruckman because they did that against Sydney. You can probably play Cowan and have like maybe have Wienering on a Fort, Haynes on a Hipwood, whoever. But you've still got McGovern there because I want McGovern to be that intercept defender.
Yeah.
If they have four talls, as you said, Cowan isn't small.
No.
So I think he can play as that in that Marchbank role, if that even is a role. But that small and tall defender that is very versatile, and I think that's why Cowan's really important in that back line. But it's something that I thought I'd bring up because there's six defenders on my list, and Sam Doherty could go back, but I mean I'm not too sure if that will really. I don't think that really will be a smart thing to do because I think that back six is actually quite solid.
Yeah,
but We'll move on now, Duff, to the opposition watch. So, as you said, Scrimshaw is out for 3 weeks, but he would have missed anyway because of his jaw, was it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the jaw.
something happened there.
Because he got subbed out, but I don't know if he actually got. I don't know if he was actually classified as concussion, but I don't know if they're challenging it. I'm not too sure, but I know that it is 3 weeks, so he definitely will not be playing this week unless they challenge it and maybe he gets off and he's free to play. I don't know, but going off him not playing, their backline. So whether it's Sam Frost, because he's been playing sub the past few weeks.
Yeah, he'll come in.
Do you think he comes in? But also your opposition watch for the Hawthorn this week. How are you kind of seeing it? Because I think it is quite a strong line.
I think our worry from last weekend was our entries. So they got a couple guys who can intercept mark really well.
Yeah.
So it's almost not avoiding them, but just keep them out of the game a little bit by darting some kicks, lower the eyes. We've spoken about this so many times. It's just like you just watch teams like their key forwards aren't as good as ours, and they're having more impact on games.
Exactly right.
Like Chol and guy, they're lowering their eyes. So, in terms of my kind of criteria for looking at, the opposition watching the defense, mine is Barras. He's an intercept marker. If we do not lower the eyes, he'll be eating those marks for breakfast or for dinner, as it'll be a 7:30 game. But yeah, like seriously, if I see that again, if we have more inside 50s again and lose again, my eyes will be pointed direct. Well, I know it's a team hole looking low on the eyes. I will be pointing the direction at fucking Russell, Jordan Russell, and his forward structure. How are they running it? Because I think since he's been at the helm, start of last year, like I know we had some games where we were good. I don't think our forward line's been running as well.
Completely agree.
And I think we should be asking the questions of that. And of course, the kicking inside 50 is not always a forwards thing. But sometimes I feel like we just don't have the space. I watched Giants yesterday, and they just found space when there wasn't space. Even Melbourne, they were just finding space when there wasn't space. When we play, it feels like the whole forward line. And one key thing for me is we win a free kick in the middle of the ground, watch it on the weekend, all our mids run in the forward line. What are you running in there for?
Yeah, I know.
You watch Walsh, you watch all of them. I watched it so many times. My old man said, watch them. TDK gets a free kick, they all run in there. We don't need you in there. We don't need you in there. It just frustrates me. You're not going to make an impact, Walshy, if the ball going up in the air, mate. Sorry. Stand out in the 50, get ready for the rebound. Because what hurts us, Patto? Transition fucking defense. I'm an unqualified supporter, and we both see stuff. Surely they see it. Surely, if they don't see it, like simple things like that, they can fix forward entries. I don't know. I don't know what's the point of being here.
Because I completely agree with everything you said just there. And I think exactly what you said then, like the conversation has been going through the back line. They haven't been great. But if that issue is fixed, it puts less pressure on the back line. The reason why Hawthorn's back line is so great, everyone's saying, oh, look how well they defend. It's because they get time to actually prepare themselves to fucking defend. Connor McDonald, Harry Morrison, Nick Watson, Jack Ginnivan, they're all doing their role in the forward line. And like a Connor Nash, he knows, I'm not going to go in the forward line because you don't want it to be too congested. It just, like, this is junior football stuff.
It is.
Yep. Like, I once got sprayed one time. I was playing in the ruck and I once got sprayed because I was meant to be a player that was staying outside of the forward line to kind of guard the defense and make sure that they're doing their like the right thing. But if I went inside the forward line, Patto, get the fuck off.
Legit. Yep.
It's just what junior football level is. And I think, like, if it's too congested, Harry Mackay doesn't have a leading lane.
No, he doesn't.
Charlie Curnow doesn't have a leading lane.
No, and
You
what are
don't
they
have
best
Jesse
for?
Motlop over the top.
And what are they best for? Leading at the ball. Like, of course, they can take contested marks, but we don't have every single inside fit. I completely agree with what you say. It's just frustrating. I think it's a thing we have to touch on
Yeah.
because it's just getting out of hand, and it's junior footy stuff, like you said.
Yeah.
And if they don't fix it this week, we will be finding it hard to score because their team defense is really, really good. And of course, they've got those two key pillars with Battle and Barras. And by the sounds of things, I reckon Frost will come in. He's another interceptor. Got to lower the eyes.
Mm. And then out of nowhere, we'll be doing our thing. We'll be on there 70 meters out. We'll be doing
Slow.
our thing. Sam Doherty will get the ball. The ball will fucking reach the light towers and it will go right in the middle of the forward 50 and
Yep.
Barras will just bang the living daylight out of the ball. Like
Yep.
it's because you know it's going to happen. And how often do you kick it in long and they mark it?
Oh,
The
yeah.
reason why it's such a good mark is because it's pretty freakish. Harry Mackay's not going to do that every single time.
No.
If Harry Mackay has a leading lane and he's in front of his opponent, he does not drop marks.
No.
But if he's running into a pack, of course it's gonna be a tough mark to take. And if he does take it, he's a freak. But we
Yeah.
need to make him look like a freak and make it easier for
Easy.
him.
Yes.
We
I
need
don't know I don't know what the obsession with making footy hard is.
Oh,
It just like people go like I'm all good with big marks and big contested marks right here and there, like you said. Just get easy goals. When you win the premiership, do they rate the goals? Do they rate the goal? Do you get more points based on how hard the goals are? No. How many goals did Richmond get in the goal square on the weekend? Like
oh
8?
my God.
But that's easy goals
Exactly.
because they're there. They always had a player in the goal square because they knew that would let them out the back. So it's about reading the other team as well. But yeah, frustrating.
And the team that we touch on a lot about this, Geelong.
Yeah,
Easy goals all the
Easy.
fucking time. Grind Myers is key for that. Is an absolute key component for that because his lowering of the ice can hit up Jeremy Cameron, and if he gets a snap 20 meters out on a slide angle,
The goal.
he's kicking that 1 million times out of a million.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
And then I think Harry Mackay is that player. If he
Yes.
gets on that slide angle in a snap, he's not missing that.
Yeah.
I know. Like, if we're speaking about it now, and we've been
If
speaking
it
about
happens
it,
again, but
it will, because it happened last week, and we've been saying it for 3 years. That's it. That's why it's just frustrating, because like we've been saying it for years,
Yep.
and they've had all preseason. If you want to work on it, you had all preseason. I've moved on from last week, I swear.
Yeah.
Golly gosh. All right. We'll now move on to the midfield depth board. This might be a bit more of a brighter from a Carlton point of view, but your midfield. Oh wait, so for the back line, are you going with Brass?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't even touch on mine. But I'll say Josh Weddle. I think
Yeah.
his rebounding off the
Yes.
halfback will be quite.
He hurt us
Because
last year.
he dominated us last year, my God. But he's also that swing player that can go forward. So we need to be wary of that. But I think he's going to be the opposition watch. But your midfield opposition watch for the Hawthorn Footy Club this week, who have you got?
Yeah, well, once again, I think they're a prototype 2025 team. They got 1,000 blokes who can run through there.
Yeah.
Jesus, like anyone can run through there. Watson even can run through there. Ginnivan can even run through there. So most of their small forwards can actually run through there. For me, I think this is a big matchup. I think I did touch on it before. I think it's Lloyd Meek. I think he can, when he plays well, he can impact ahead of the ball. I think he hurt us in that game last year. Obviously, we only had Pitto playing. I think Teddy K was out. It was following that North Melbourne injury. But yeah, I think if we can take him out of the game, he's a big boy. TDK can run him around. He's just got to. He just has to, TDK. And I can see him having another 25-plus game by running him around, not letting them have first look at the ball every time in the midfield. So that's going to be huge. And obviously, they've got other mids, and I'm sure you'll touch on them. But yeah, for me, I think it's Meek.
You know, I like it. We probably haven't really touched on the ruckman as a midfield opposition
Mm.
watch ever, have we? We probably should
No.
actually make that as a thing because I actually really like that. And I think me can be quite a big threat. I mean, not just his size. He's obviously quite a big boy, but I think he definitely has overtaken Reeves to be their number one ruck. But my midfield opposition watch, and it's quite clear to me, and it's going to be Will Day.
Yep.
I think he's going to be a star in the making. I think he's got the size of Marcus Bontempelli, but he's got the skills of Nick Dacos, and that's pretty scary. So I think we need to put some sort of time into it. I don't think we should tag it all, but we need to be cautious of when he goes forward. We have a plan for that. So I think Will Day is definitely an opposition watch, and even to a stretch, even John Newcombe, if you want to name him. But Josh Ward has obviously come in for James Worpel, and I think he's been quite solid the past few. He played quite well last week, but also last year was quite good. So he's got that opportunity with James Worpel being out. But Daff, let's now go to our forward line opposition watch for the Hawthorn Footy Club. There are a hell of a lot of names in there, but who have you got? Because they've obviously got Chol in there as that mainstay key forward. They don't have Cal Shadir or Jack Gunson or even Mitch Lewis. I know Mitch Lewis has been injured, and I think he's still trying to get himself fit. But Chol's been quite good as that mainstay forward. And then when he goes into the ruck, they are very small, and I think that's quite threatening. So what's your forward line opposition watch looking like?
Yeah, well, I think we've got Chol covered.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I think Wiedering can kind of cancel that out. My worry whenever we play teams like this is the little small forwards. And I thought he lifted on the weekend, and it was Nick Watson. Thought he was much better than his opening round game. I'm not saying we can't handle it. That'll be an interesting to watch to see our selection. Do we bring a Boyd in? To really take that job? I think that's the way we can bring a Boyd in. I'm not sure if he's 100%, but I think if he's 100%, you almost got to just pull the trigger, especially if we don't have a Chincotta until a few weeks. I think you go probably, that matchup. But yeah, I think Watson for me is the key look at it. I think if you can take him out of the game, their zip and their zap can sometimes be a bit slower. The issue is they've got other guys in there that can do the role. Obviously, Ginnivan's a fantastic player. He would have been nice to get in that off season. I'm surprised we didn't have a look at him. Clearly, it wasn't a need for us at the time. They didn't see it as a need. So, yeah, I think Nick Watson for me.
Yeah. Looking back at that, how handy he would have been. Now, I know I don't really want to go off track, but I've just got a question for you.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask it earlier. This is my question that I was kind of thinking about, and it's kind of come back to me now that you've said Jack Ginnivan. I don't want to touch on Matt Owies. It's not about Matt Owies.
No.
But our team, did you notice last week that we have gone a bit soft?
Yeah. Yep.
There's no electricity.
No.
There's no...
CUNT.
Yeah. So Frankie Evans kicked his first goal, right? A few guys came over. Not a lot actually got around him. So if Hawthorn has a debutant, kicks his first goal, Tom Barras from the goal square on the other side of the ground would come over and celebrate. There's just something, and I'm probably overthinking it right now, but it's actually, I've kind of looked at it more in a little bit, I've kind of seen it in more light over on the weekend Harry Sharp kicking his first goal.
Yeah.
All of the
Matt Jefferson, that Jefferson one. Yeah.
How good was that? The small forward,
Henderson. Yes. Yep.
That as well.
Yep.
Like all of that, it was really good to see that. And I can guarantee I'm overthinking it because it's a team that I support, and I obviously am looking at it and being like, why didn't we perform well on Thursday? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And you kind of look at all the games and be like, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why we're shit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we're shit. I've just got a question. Do you think we need to have a bit more of that CUNT come Thursday night? Because Hawthorn are unsociable. They've been
Yes.
known for they've been known for that.
Yep.
Do you think we need to kind of I don't want to change the coaching or game style we have because
No, no.
obviously our best football is up there. But in 2023, we were speaking about it. Then I
Yes.
could guarantee you, if we look back at the episodes, we were speaking about tough, brutal.
Yeah.
Do you think that has kind of gone the past, well, obviously last week, but also when we were playing quite shit last year? Do you think that's kind of gone out of our side a little bit and that needs to return instantly for us to be a premiership chance?
Yep. I think we've got to really. The start of the game for me is big
Yeah.
on this weekend and every weekend. Stop playing nice. And that's what I was talking about with Harry Mackay. Like, he's always going to be bigger and taller than his opponent, right? Push off.
I know.
Don't wrestle. Hit her body hard. And that look at it with the tackling and the pressure on the weekend was atrocious. We've got to be hard against Hawthorn.
Yeah.
They're doing their little celebrations. Get into him.
Yes, exactly right.
You know what I mean? Like, don't be nice. We're too nice. We are too nice. If a guy falls over, don't pick him up on the opposition team. Don't pick him up.
Push him back
Couldn't
down.
care less. But you know what I mean? Like little things like that. Just we're not here to be friends.
Exactly right.
Not here to have a laugh because your best mate plays for Hawthorn after a loss. No, no, no. No. No chatting during the games. Sometimes you see that. No. Focus on getting the fucking pill and tackling him.
Exactly right.
Yeah, the tackling and the pressure, I think, has to be the biggest I've ever seen this weekend. The biggest I've ever seen. And I've seen us do big when we play well. It's the only way we win, I think. If we let them out, our tackle game's low, our pressure's low, it's going to be a long, 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 long night. It's going to, like you look at that game last year, I know, to be honest, we were falling down like flies. We were playing like crap the last weeks before it. You knew we were probably going to lose. And then we had all the injuries. But this week, there's no excuse. There's no excuse to go out there and hunt the footy, Patto. There was this moment where Taranto was near me, had the ball, he got a handball receive, and three Carlton players had him and missed him, and they got through, got over the back, and Lawler kicked his first goal, and it started from our forward 50. It was about 60 out from our goal, and they handballed it through. He was just jogging through tackles. How are they missing tackles? First game of the year. If we're missing tackles on the weekend, Patto, I'm sure you know what'll happen. It'll be ugly.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you just said then. And that's, I think it's more just the energy, and that's something that we've been lacking. And obviously, Matt always brought it last year, but we've got more players this year. And I'm looking like Charlie Kerner obviously will bring that energy. When he kicks his first goal for 2025, he will bring that energy. Tug the jumper. But another player that I'm looking at, and it's a change of position, but Jack Silvani, man.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why he was by far our best forward in that last quarter. He was our most promising. He always won us the game.
And he applies pressure. He actually applies pressure. I think people don't talk about that either. He's always willing himself.
Exactly right.
He's not the most talented. That's what his whole career's been about. That's the only reason why he's still in the AFL. Because he gets the most out of. If every player on our team got the most out of themselves, we would win this game completely easy. But that's the issue. It's, I don't know what it is. It's just this, when we have expectation, Patto, we just falter. We went on that 9-week run in 2023. What was the difference? No expectation. They didn't worry about losing. They didn't. It was nothing to lose because we were cooked. We were 3-9. Everyone ruling us out of finals, even after winning 7 in a row. That's what it was, man. We just, it's the expectation. That's why we lose. It's the only reason. It's the only reason. We just go completely off the track when there's expectation. And look at last week. Exactly that. Everyone's all the eyes on us going, oh, yeah, they'll win easy, 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 easy. Whereas you look at maybe 2022 when we played Richmond round 1, no expectation. What happens? You win the game of footy. That's what it is. It's mental. Absolutely mental. They just falter under the pressure, and I'm sick of it. A good team does not do that.
Mm. And that's why with what I was about to say with Silvani is like he can be that always replacement in that forward
Mm.
line.
Mm.
And I know he was really good in the back line, but I think he can provide more in the forward line.
Yep.
He when he plays alongside Charlie Kerner and Harry Mackay,
Yep.
he is fantastic.
Mm.
He is the missing piece in that forward line, in my
Yep.
opinion.
Yep.
Like, yes, Owies isn't there, but
Yep.
Silvani, I would rather Silvani play over Owies.
Yeah.
He probably,
Yep.
he probably applies the exact same pressure,
Mm.
but also he's taller, so he
Mm.
can take that key back to then put a little
Yes.
bit less pressure on that Jesse Motlop, Zach Williams,
Yes.
Lockie Fogarty.
Yep.
I just, yeah, I don't want to throw all the plans out in preseason
100%.
out the window because Silvani was actually quite good last week.
Mm.
But you need to make changes, and I think the changes that need to be made is
Yep.
Jack Silvani in the forward line.
Yep.
He can't play in the back line.
And if he has to at some points of the game or weeks, I'm happy with that.
Yep.
He can be the swingman.
Exactly right.
Be this. Don't be. We can't be pigeonholed and going. He just has to play that one role.
Yep.
Look at. There's plenty of players who could do that kind of thing.
Exactly right.
People are like even last week we were going, oh, who are we going to play as our second ruck? We were afraid to play Lewis Young as a tall right. We both were. I'm not saying he's a superstar. We struggled in the ruck, the second ruck.
Yeah.
We didn't have a second ruck.
Exactly.
Sometimes you got to play to what you need. You know what I mean? And we didn't have that kind of second tall forward that could help Harry out. He didn't have to be Charlie Curnow, Lewis Young. He just had to be Lewis Young and play in the second ruck. And that's going to be an interesting watch. Who is going to be the second ruck? Is it Sauce?
That is why.
Maybe it's Sauce.
But seriously, that is why this team that I'm looking at right now with the changes that we've made, Charlie and Harry can be the key forwards.
Yep.
Jack Silvani going. We were speaking about how good Silvani is as that second ruck.
Yes.
And I feel like last year it was kind of like it's gone completely out of our mind because Silvani was absent last year.
Yes.
But now he's returned. Our best football was 2023.
Yeah.
Silvani was that second ruck. Return him in the
Yeah.
role that we know. Like, how good is it when a Silvani kicks a goal?
Yes, I know.
Just the blue, and I think I'm looking too much into the energy because obviously Michael Voss knows the players a hell of a lot more than what we do.
Yeah.
But just the energy side of it, energy creates crowd rises, players' adrenaline goes up, they try more effort.
It's all into one. Energy is huge. Of course, you got to have the skill.
Massive.
But Richmond didn't have the skill, and they had the energy, and they won the game on the weekend based off pretty much 3/4. They did not stop.
Exactly right.
They did not stop. So
Did not stop.
if we don't is a minimum from us on Thursday night against Hawthorn, we'll give ourselves our best shot.
Yeah, exactly right. So, the forward line opposition watch that I'm going with, because I didn't even touch on mine, but the forward line opposition watch that I'll go with, Dylan Moore.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, I think he's going to be quite a threat. Who do you think will go to Dylan Moore? Because obviously he goes into the midfield as well, but he has been playing more as that stay-at-home forward. So, who do you think? It obviously would have been a Nick Newman, but now that Newman's not there, do you think it could be a Saar? Do you think it could be a Cowan? Do you think it could even be an Ollie Hollands? How are you saying it?
God.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, I'd be going. I'd probably when he plays forward, I think he'd go Cowan.
Yeah,
He's got that pace, got that size. Because Moore's not like small in stature and size. So yeah, it's going to cause some headaches. That's why he's very good. Dylan Moore. He's all Australian last year. So yeah, I'm just worried. I'm not confident. And just a quick thing, I'm not tipping us. We don't deserve a tip at the moment. We usually find a way. I don't think they deserve a tip at the moment.
Yeah. Are you more nervous about Hawthorn or us?
Us.
Okay.
I know what they're going to bring.
Yeah.
I know what Hawthorn are going to bring. That quick, zippy pressure, always hunting, 18-man defense, intercept markers, running handball receives. That's just what Hawthorn are. It's just that modern game, which we can play. We've just got to just figure it out. And then, I'm just, I'm always worried about us. It's always up to us. And of course, if we get beaten on the weekend and we play superb, right, like Melbourne yesterday, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to want to win the game, and people are going to go, but Daf, it's about wins and losses. Of course it is. But based off last week, I'll just take a pretty good performance. And that will sort itself out. It could sort itself out as a win. It
Yeah.
really could. But if they're too good, they might be just too good.
Mm.
I don't want to be
Honestly,
beat. Yeah.
sorry, go.
I don't want to be beaten by ourselves, knowing we could have, given them a shot.
Yeah. And you said that about the like when we play our best football, like we might not win, we might not lose, but our best football, what have you noticed? Our best football, we don't lose.
Yes.
We don't lose.
No. But we don't see it enough.
Exactly.
That's all it is every year. That's why the consistency's not there, because one week you play your best, one week you play like shit, one week you play well, one quarter you play well, one quarter you play bad. That's just all it is. And that's why Hawthorn are playing well at the moment, because they're finding a consistency, a level. They're not playing like the world's best all the time, but they find a good level where they're consistent and they find ways to kick goals and win games of footy. Look at Geelong. They might have a patch where they might be struggling, but they still find a way to get that goal. They still find a way to have a little 30-second patch where they hit a few targets, find Jezza up forward, kill any momentum. So that's what we've got to try and find.
Hit the nail on the head as always, Daffy boy. It's so frustrating because you can see it, I can see it. Shout out to the people who left a comment as well on the episode last week. Last episode, they all see it, and yet we don't see it. Yet we do not see it come game day. I don't know how many more weeks we can get. I really don't. I don't. We might get to round 8, 0-8. We'll be like, oh, that's all right. The week after, we'll be right. We'll be right. We'll find something. Yeah. I don't know how many more weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many more weeks, because the pressure will continue to mount. And with our football club, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it explodes. And usually the exploding is the head coach. So I don't want any of that at the moment. I think calling for that is a little bit premature. But of course, the pressure has to come. If it comes to buy rounds, like you said, and we're 6-6 or
0-12.
0-12, I'll be gone. I'll be moving to some private island and with no phone reception. oh Jesus. Anyway.
All right, David Boy, let's move on to the last segment that we have, and it is the match predictions. So for the people who don't know, I know if you could hear that.
No, I don't know.
Because the mic, I don't think the mic catches like the outside audio, but a huge truck just went by, and I was like, bloody hell. For the people who don't know about our match predictions, we touch on bagger of the game, which at the end of the year we calculate all the bagger of the game votes and give it to the bagger of the year. Point of difference, quite self-explanatory. The player who's going to be the point of difference come Thursday night, and winner plus margin on Thursday night against the Hawks. But Daff, your match predictions, what have you got?
Been dreading this since the I've been dreading this since the final siren of Thursday night. Bagger of the game. But I'm only going to do it because he played well on the weekend. None of these guys have proven enough to me that they're going to be bagger of the game. It's going to be Jacob Wiedering. He's going to be my bagger of the game. Not much to say there. His intercept marking was fantastic, and I think they've just got to come with him. The whole team has to just follow his lead and play as well as he does with consistency. And he's almost a robot. He doesn't have emotions, which is great because he just does not. I don't know. There's just something about him which I love. Point of difference. Charlie Curnow is the point of difference. I'm not sure how it's pretty hard not to put him as the point of difference, considering we didn't have him last week, and he's probably top 3 players, probably a top 10 player in the competition. Of course, he's going to be a point of difference. Let's hope he kicks 8. Let's hope he kicks 8 goals and just shoves it up everyone's ass as a point of difference. And margin, I said in the preview, I'm not saying we can't win. Not saying we can't. Like we said, I think we can be up to this challenge if we play. If we play well, but I won't be tipping us this week because I said if I tipped us, I'd be giving Patto $100. So I would not be.
Dang it! I wanted that 100.
He's getting ready for that bank transfer in about 10 minutes. Imagine if I actually did it. You just and the description is tipped Carlton $100. No, I'll be tipping. I'll be tipping Hawthorn by 23 points at the moment, just based off last week's performance. But like I said, I'm not counting us out. I probably should be counting us out if I'm a normal human being and not delusional. But I'm tipping Hawthorn by 23.
Like it. I'm gonna rate you out here, and I don't really care about it. Last night, Daffy sent me a message. Blues by 25, just quietly. So on the podcast, but yeah, we
realistically,
know that we can win this game. You want to tip Carlton, but you just don't know what you're going to expect.
I don't trust. The trust is gone. I had the trust. The trust was there last week. You were messaging me going, "I'm calm."
Yeah. Oh my god, how bad is that? How bad is that?
I reckon since that message, nothing to do with you, but when you sent that. It just went to fully shit. But I agreed with you at the time. I was actually very low key going, okay, they've had a few punches here. We'll just hit them back like last year's game against them, which wasn't that long ago. And then it was a full capitulation of utter shit.
Yeah. I went back and I went, no, man, I'm calm. I'm fine. I'm not too nervous. And my mate was there, but he's shitting himself. And I'm like, no, man, I'm fine. I'm good. I kind of know what they'll fucking bring. And we got beaten by the Tigers. But I'm going to move on to my match predictions, Daffy Boy.
Yeah.
So, bag of the game. Bit of a controversial one, but I usually do go outside of the box here, Daff. Sammy Walsh.
Yeah.
Lift, son. Lift.
More impact again with ball in hand. Those around the body kicks. I never want to see that. You know that there's one on the wing and he won it out the stoppage. Great. He shoves it on the boot. None of that shit, Sammy, please.
Lift. He needs to do more in the middle. You've got Cripps, Walsh, Chera, Hewitt. Those are the mids that I want in there. No one else. Jesse Motlop, get the fuck out of the middle.
Yep.
It's not Jesse's fault. It's Michael Voss trying to create something. You don't need to create anything. What are you doing? You got the mids in there. If anything, put Zach Williams in there. I think Zach Williams can be that zippy.
100%.
I don't know why they always try and find a solution. We were in control at that time.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Yep.
What are you doing? So Sam Walsh, back of the game, I think he needs to step up. Yes, he's been injured over the preseason. He's had a cider last week. Huge stage this week. Thursday night against Hawthorn. Lift.
Yep.
Sam Walsh. No more hack kicks into the forward line that hits the fucking moon. No more of that shit. Lower your eyes. Use your skill. Use football IQ that we know. 2021. People were saying, Sam Walsh could win the Brownlow medal in 2021. Right now, he's struggling to actually stay in this best 3 and 2 at the moment because Cooper Lord's probably supplying more than him at the moment. Seriously. It's frustrating.
I completely agree. I was wondering why I saw a yellow Sharon on the moon the other day.
That is the most dad joke. That's the most dad joke I've ever heard.
I was looking at the moon. I just saw a little blimp. So I got me, binoculars out, and I saw the Sharon.
Binoculars? You reckon the binoculars?
Oh, the telescope. Sorry. Oh, that's a shocker. That's a
Oh my
shocker by
God.
my end. Sorry.
Binoculars, you'll be using like, oh, where's Harry Mackay? And then next minute, oh, there's a Sheeran on the move.
That's Walshy's pill.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
we had to pull it together here. So Sam Walsh back of the game. I think he needs to
Yep.
lift in something that we haven't seen before. He needs to really get going. Point of difference. Jack Silvani
Yep.
up forward.
Yep.
I want to put Charlie Kerno. You put Charlie Kerno, so I'm glad that you did that. Point of difference. Sauce.
I like it.
I don't think I need to say lift because he lifted last week. He tried his best.
Yep.
So he's going to be the point of difference come Thursday night. Daffy boy. Winner plus margin.
Oh, no. Oh, no. He's going to do it.
We say our best football.
Oh, my God. He's doing it. Oh, no.
Our best football.
He's doing it, everyone.
We don't lose.
He's doing it.
If we put our best football on Thursday night, if we bring our best football on Thursday night, we are going to win. Blues by 8. The Blue Baggers by 8. I've got nothing to go off. I've got nothing. Right now, It's just hope. And right now, I could fucking guarantee come the review, delusion.
Yep.
We're delusional. It's hope at
are.
the moment.
It's the only way you can.
Hope?
It's the only way you can stay as a Carlton supporter. Okay.
Why is it hope? Why am I hoping? Oh, please win on the weekend.
Yeah, we should know what we're going to get out of them. Win or loss, like you know what I mean. Like even if you lose, it's like okay, the other team were better in moments or whatever. I'm fine with that. I will take that as a loss. But last week, you're just not taking that as a loss. We didn't even fire a shot. We had 3 quarters to put 2 minutes of footy together to win the game. Probably. Let's be real. If we played 5 good minutes in the second half, we probably would have kicked 2 or 3 and it was over.
Yeah.
Like, how fucked is that when you think about it? Like, that makes me even more infuriated by that performance. But yeah.
Yeah. We need a response this week. And I think that response, I'm not going to accept a 1-point loss. No. I'm actually not.
No.
But we aren't at the point anymore of,
no.
Oh, yeah, we lost, but we played well. We're not there anymore.
Honourable losses, no.
I'm over that shit. 2021, we were dealing with that. Oh, yeah, but Harry Mackay played well. I'm over that shit.
No, yep.
Right now, our best football needs to get us wins.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, that's an issue.
That's the thing. So that's why I'm saying I'm expecting to see a response this week. I'm expecting to see all the work put in over the preseason to perform our best football on Thursday night.
Yep.
So if we perform our best football, Blues by 8.
Yep. Fair enough. No, I like it.
I don't know how I've tipped Carlton. I really don't.
Yeah.
Off what we've seen, but it's just I'm so over being hopeful and delusional. I'm bloody over it. But Daf, that obviously is our last segment. But before we wrap up the episode, is there anything else you would like to touch on before we head into Thursday night? MCG, beautiful night. 7:30 p.m. start. Crippers, whatever game. Lucas Camporelli, second game. Matty Cottrell's 143rd game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we always talk about expectations. I'm actually changing my whole mindset this weekend just to help me get through 4 quarters of foot. I'm going no expectation.
Yeah, I know.
Just personally, there's still expectation, like we've been talking about. I'm not saying there's no expectation, but I'm going there on the weekend not expecting a win at all. Just so it doesn't hurt. Because that Thursday it took the complete. Like the whole weekend, man. Like you're watching games of footy and you're watching Spuds kick goals. Like you're watching fucking Gold Coast win by 80. Like against a team that's bad, and we played a team that was worse. Well, who knows yet, but just fucking win. Seriously, that should be on the board on the weekend. Vossi on the whiteboard. Just fucking win. Really. Because I think not going to say it's going to be a full back on track if we win, but gee, it'll go a long way. And obviously, we'll be absolutely stoked if we win the game, right? And I know people, we're going to be talking about last week and be frustrated by last week. Last week was last week.
Exactly.
If we win, we're going to be stoked and we'll be up and about and we're going to be ready for this Dogs game. So, I'll be after 4 weeks. Do we accept? What do we accept? 2-2.
3-1. Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, if we lose to the Hawks, which is probably expected, but 2-2.
2-2. I think
we can't go 1-3.
No, otherwise we're fucked. I think. But yeah, that's my last point of view. Just let's take a step back. Let's get around them, but no expectation.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I don't like doing it when I don't like doing this when I'm looking at me like with such high expectations. So unfortunately, I'm still heading in with a bit of expectation, and I can guarantee I'll be a hell of a lot angrier when we do the episode, and you'll probably be calm because you probably expected it.
Yeah.
Not like that Carlton can win this game.
Absolutely, but I wouldn't even be surprised if they disappointed us. That's what I mean. It's such a fine line. Like I don't know what they're going to give us. That's the issue. That's the main whole overall issue. That's it.
2025, and we're round 2 when we still don't know what we're going to expect. Oh, it's frustrating. But to every single blue bagger out there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are up to, I think, almost 1.2.
Yeah.
1.2 subs. So, yeah, the last episode did actually really well. I think we got
well. It was probably 50% Richmond supporters having a good laugh. I did notice that with some of the Carlton content on YouTube. People love seeing us lose, mate. Honestly, like that's probably the one benefit of the loss. We've got people watching our videos, but no, there's no benefit over loss. But no, we're really loving the support. It's been fantastic, and all videos, not just that one. But yeah, it's been really good to see people, commenting. It gives us a bit more motivation and satisfaction, especially after a disappointing loss.
Yep. No, spot on. But make sure to also look at our podcast platforms, whether it's Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. We're on all of them. So make sure to have a look at those podcasts if you do want to listen to the audio version of the podcast. But also check out our socials, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn as well, Daffy Boy, Twitter, X. There's a few platforms out there that we post on, so make sure to check that out. But to you, Daffy Boy, are you going Thursday night?
Yep, I'll be there, mate. Don't you fucking worry about it.
And to every single blue bagger out there,
up the bag.
Up the baggers.
Yes.